Hey everyone, Steph here, and today I have Jules from the band Set Your Sails here to chat about their upcoming album Nightfall for the Faction. Hey Jules.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm great.
That's
I was looking forward.
yeah. What's going on in your part of the world?
Oh man, shitty weather, um, and a lot of COVID related stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same down here. In my state, we've only just gotten full capacity back at venues. So live music's just gotten back. So it's starting to look good, but it's only baby steps.
Yeah, man, they closed everything here again. It was
Yeah.
open and for like 2G plus, and now they closed everything. So, yeah, we had a show actually, yesterday, but they canceled it.
Oh, that
So, yeah,
sucks.
yeah.
Yeah. I guess a big congratulations is in order for signing to Napalm Records. How do you feel about
Thanks.
the signing?
Oh man, we're still we can't believe it. It was great. It was sick, you know. We finished the record, um and then we applied to different labels, and when we saw the name Napalm Records, we were like, what is going on? You know? Um and when we actually signed to them, it felt unreal because that was what we were working for the past 5 years, something like that. And people are great. They're working their off because they're doing great jobs. And yeah, we're really happy with Napalm Records.
Yeah, it's a huge. I was looking through all the bands that are signed to Napalm Records, and I was just like, wow, there's so many.
Yeah,
Yeah, it probably feels unreal as well to you guys.
yeah, 100%, 100%. For example, Ginger is signed to Napalm Records, and it's one of Andre's, our guitarist's, favorite bands. He even went to concerts from them like 2 years before we got signed, and he was totally freaking out about it. He was like, "What's going on?" You know, I just went to the concert, and now the label signed us. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
sick.
So your debut album Enough was released back in 2018. It's given you some opportunities to support some bands like Hatebreed and that, as well as some festival spots. What were those experiences like? Having just released like a new album and being pretty new.
Um, Yeah, you know, the thing about Enough is that it was pretty much just demos. We recorded everything in our bedrooms, and then produced it ourselves and just threw it out there so that we're able to get booked for shows and stuff like that. But it wasn't like actually being happy with the work in general. We knew each other only for half a year when we started songwriting, and so like these songs were just write it, record it, and throw it out there so we can play. But as you already said, it had given us the opportunity to play different festivals and shows, and that was also very sick, but felt very natural, especially when we played Reload Festival. It's a very huge festival in Germany. Um, and when we arrived there, the feeling you have when you know you're gonna jump on that big stage and you're backstage with Hatebreed, as you said, and Bullet for My Valentine and people like that is totally insane. But at the same time, it felt so natural. I felt so comfortable in it. It wasn't like, oh my God, we're playing this festival. It was like, yeah, this is where we need to be. You know, this feels so good, and yeah, this is where we belong as a band. And yeah, it was awesome. So we were really grateful that we did that we released it ourselves. But as I already said, we're not really happy with the record.
Yeah. So would you say that you kind of found your element and was like, yeah, this is what we need to be doing, like 100%, no backtracks, nothing. We've got to focus on this.
Yeah, I mean, when you start a band, you're not really doing it because you believe it's actually gonna work out in a professional kind of way. You know, you just start a band, you want to make music, you start songwriting, and then when things got more professional and we met the right people, it felt so good. And I knew in this very second, especially, I just remember that like standing backstage at that festival and seeing this huge stage, and that's when it clicked in my head. I was like, yeah, I want to do this for a living. I want to do this professionally. This is where I belong. This is where I feel most comfortable at. And yeah, so definitely.
So Nightfall is the debut album under Napalm Records, and it doesn't come out till the 21st of January 2022. But you've released 2 songs, singles so far, Ghosts and Mirror. What's been the response like for those 2 songs so far? I know Mirror you've only just recently released, but Ghost has been out for a little while now. So yeah, what's the response been like?
We're still answering messages from people, actually, because we got very, very positive feedback. We set our expectations very low, but we were overwhelmed by people saying, "This is insane! I saw you at that show or this show, and now you've grown up so much, and this is a great song." And I believe that Mirror is even we got even more responses for Mirror already, although it was released just, I don't even know, like 40, not even 48 hours or something ago. I don't even remember.
Ago.
Yeah. And people were like, not only like the people writing us via Instagram or something like that, it's also press people that wrote us, and that's a very, very positive response, and we're very thankful for that.
Yeah, I'm really liking the 2 songs so far. I just got them on repeat. That's so good.
Thank you. Have you listened to the entire album yet?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it took me by surprise. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Especially the last song. I was like, this is a really good cover. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It kind of threw me too, because I was like, oh, this is different.
Yeah, man, we love mixing genres, you know. We are people who respect other musicians for whatever they're doing. You know, we're not saying that metal or metalcore is the genre and we're the coolest people in the scenes, but so we respect everyone who's making music, and especially mixing genres is so much fun, and it was so much fun recording it. Actually, we had a lot of laughs in the studio because at first we didn't really know how we're going to do it, how to add shout parts and where to add the clean parts. But yeah, we really like it.
Yeah, it came together really well. So you said that your debut album, Enough, it wasn't really, you guys weren't 100% happy with it. So is this record like you're 100% happy with it? It's the best thing you've got to start off with, and you're kind of like starting again?
Yeah, 100%. 100%, because this is, you know, this record is, I said this in a different interview, that it's actually very scary to release it because it's so personal. And I wrote the lyrics straight from my heart. They're really personal and very honest. So, you know, the thing about Nightfall is there are songs on a record which I completely wrote myself instrumentally, or Andre wrote completely himself instrumentally. And then there's songs on record we both wrote. And that's, I believe, why it's so diverse, because they're very, very I would say soft songs, if you can say it like that, and very, very personal. As I already said, very personal lyrics, but also there's very, very, very much aggressivity to it, especially when it comes to "Fuck Off," because it's very important for us to stand up against hate in general and discrimination in general. So yeah, it's very, very, very diverse, I would say, but it is all we could get out of ourselves. And yeah, it's very honest, and we're really proud of it, actually.
Yeah, as you should be. It's really good. And that song you mentioned, "Fuck Off," I listened to it and I was like, this is really good. Like, it's got the meaning, got the emphasis behind it. Musically, it's like it pretty much wants to punch you in the face, is how I want to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? We wrote the song in 20 minutes. It was like I was sitting with Andre, and we were songwriting. I was like, man, we need a song we can play live and we can involve the people. And it needs to be very like rock and roll and straight in your face. And then we came up with the riff, and it was actually written in 20 minutes. And then I wrote the lyrics, I don't know, in 10 minutes or something like that. But it's like the way it is right now, it was written the way, you know. So but we love it. It's one of my favorites to play live, actually.
Crazy that it was written in like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man, we were, you know, it's a very political song, as I said, because there's a party here in Germany which is very a very hateful and discriminating party. So we're like, man, we're so sick and tired of this bullshit going on here in Germany. And that's why it was themed very politically. But yeah, you know, it's an aggressive live song, and it's a lot of fun to play, actually.
so what would be the meaning or the main takeaway that you want people to understand from this album as a whole?
I think that you shouldn't be afraid to show some softer sides, because I was struggling with a couple of songs. I was really thinking of releasing it or not, releasing them or not, because, as I already said, they were written so personally. But we said, you know what? It was written in this process. I used to call our writing sessions self-therapy sessions, because that's pretty much what it was. So I guess talking about what you're feeling, what you're going through, and being honest with yourself, and also not being afraid of showing your softer side in your feelings. And you know, metal doesn't always have to be you know, very aggressive, and I am the strongest person in the world and whatever, because no one is, you know, the strongest, and cannot and doesn't have feelings. Yeah, I really hope that at least a couple people can relate to the lyrics. Yeah, I guess that's the most important thing for us.
Definitely. You show a little vocal range from your clean singing to your screaming. Did it come naturally to showcase this range in the album when you were writing it?
Yeah, we were. I don't know how I actually come up with it. I mean, sometimes Andre starts songwriting in a different tuning, and then I always try to explain him that that's too high or that's too deep, or we need to change the tuning. And sometimes he was like, man, but it needs to be that low, you know, and or it doesn't sound right. And I was like, man, I need to go very high for this in the chorus, you know. And we decided to just try it out. You know, when I was in the studio, especially for the song Secrets, which is on the top of my range when it comes to the chorus, I was like, man, I can't do it. You know, it's too high. How am I supposed to do it? And then our producer said, just go in the vocal booth and just try it out. And I tried it out and it worked out. So it is very tough. I would say that this is a very vocally, very challenging album, especially when it comes to live. But yeah, it just came naturally, and it came with songwriting. But yeah, it's still working out.
Yeah.
It's at the edge, but it's still working.
Yeah. Have you got any plans to come tour Australia when you can, obviously?
Oh man, I would love to come to Australia. I've never been to Australia. That would be great. I mean, I wouldn't look forward to the flight actually, but but we don't have any plans yet. No, we're not such a big band. We're going on tour in January with a bigger band, so as support. But I'd love to. If our booking agent says you're going to Australia, I'll be at the airport in 5 minutes. So
Sounds good.
yeah, I would love that.
Yeah. So as we all know, the pandemic has halted the world and brought everything to a standstill. And there's other countries, like you said at the beginning, that like Germany are currently going back through lockdowns and stuff like that. I know down here in Melbourne in Australia, I've definitely had my fair share of lockdowns. What have you guys been doing during that time? Is this where you got the inspiration to write Nightfall, or was it kind of before that happened?
I need to think about that because I'm very bad with numbers. But I believe we went in the studio in 2020, and we were still touring in 2019 when it got when COVID came up in Europe, and we actually went to the studio at the very beginning of the first lockdown. So Germany didn't really know how to handle it, and we went in the studio actually before it went totally crazy over here. So the record was done by the time we were having a second lockdown and stuff like that. So we weren't really affected by COVID when it comes to the recording process, because the record, as I said, was already done. But definitely when it comes to releasing it, because we wanted to release the album way earlier than we're doing now. So we actually sit with the done record for over a year now, and waiting to release it, being able to release it. So yeah, in the meantime, we started actually writing for the next record. That's what we did in the pandemic. But yeah, it affected the release date of a record, definitely.
Yeah, it seems like it's done a lot of that to other artists, and that they want to release it, but they have had to push it back. And the same like movies and that as well, they've had to push them back.
Yeah,
everyone really wants them, but they can't have them.
Yeah, but it makes sense, especially as a newcomer. If we would have released it a year ago, nobody would have given about it. That's what it is. And especially if you're not able to tour. And then releasing a record as a newcomer, that wouldn't have made sense. So the label pushed it back, and now, yeah, we have the tour hopefully going on in January, and now it's definitely coming out January 21st.
Yeah, I'm excited for it to be released in full. Can show everyone.
Yeah.
Tell everyone you need to listen to this band, guys.
Thanks, man.
It's all right. So thanks for chatting with me. And
yeah, thanks for having us.
You're right. So I'll just